G'day guys, Zane here. I'm back and feeling healthy, but yeah, just thought I'd have a quick chat about the current changes we're seeing in life around us. So I went out shopping the other day and I was like, wow, everything's just like, there goes social distancing. Yeah, so I just went through the shopping centre as quick as I could because I didn't have a mask on or anything like that. I'm being a bit relaxed and casual myself. But it's my belief there is a lot of symptomatic carriers. Not a lot. There's still people out there that are infected. The studies in our group indicating that people have had this for 30, 40, 60, 70 days without symptoms. So they're possible carriers that can infect other people without even knowing that, and they may or may not have been tested yet. So that's a bit of an issue. It's my view that this is a seasonal virus. And contributing factors, obviously obesity is a major risk factor there. Diabetes and everything else, blood pressure, heart problems, everything else, kidney, that all links back to obesity, sorry. So again, obesity being a major factor there, risk factor. So we also have lack of vitamin D deficiencies, and I've started to theorise this, hypothesised this a couple of weeks back, and since then, luckily, I was like, wow, how cool is that? About a week later, and to this kind of moment, present time, I've just been seeing more and more discussion regarding this being a seasonal virus now. So it's going to come back 3 to 5 months, outbreaks here and there. With global travel, we've seen influenza, a bit of a disruption to see, influenza being a seasonal virus. I myself usually get it late in the season, so I haven't actually had it for the last couple of years, but when I did have it, that strain of flu, it destroyed me. So it is my belief that vitamin D is a serious factor here. So I believe by the end of May, I've been saying that that'll be my indicator on how things are going. I'm not confident with the testing and the authorities though, so there's some difficult factors there. Like if they went door to door to find everybody that's a symptomatic carrier or whatever, they could test me right now, and then a week or two later I've been exposed by going out to the shopping centre, and they might come back a month later to test me again. But in that 2 weeks I've already gone out and spread it to people. So it's a big issue right now, and it makes it very difficult. We need to do some studies. This COVID app, at least, I'm not bloody signing up. I hate apps, and I don't use apps. And I don't use location tracking, and I don't use Bluetooth. I don't use any of that stuff. I've worked in IT for 20 years, and I freaking hate it. So I don't use any of that. I hate touchscreens. I type at 165 words per minute. You get me on a touchscreen, I'm down to 50 to 60 or 70 words per minute. Like tick, 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 tick. And it's just like, this is like learning to bloody type the first time for me. It's just frustrating. So I don't use those apps, but those apps are going to be a good indicator of how, say if one person goes out to a shopping centre, or they go out to Bunnings, or they go out to wherever they go, how many people in one day they're going to be, they're coming in contact with. So it's going to be quite an interesting, I've seen social studies on this stuff before, but I reckon we're going to get some good information and data out of this. I believe, I've said this from the start of this outbreak in the group and in my other group where I was posting before I created these groups. I was trying to warn people until I got the shits because too many people were denying it or whatever. And I was like, this is serious. You watch what's going to happen. Start getting prepared now. Don't panic. Just be prepared. And during those times, based off all the science reports, the data, the stats I could see, I said that late August, early September will be our peak here in Australia for this virus. So we've still got a fair while to reach that. We're just in the start of May now. So we've got a late summer type thing kicking in now. Up here in Cairns where I am, it's still 30 degrees, 28 degrees. Probably today I've got a shirt on, so it's maybe 24, 25. Bit of a colder type day for me. Under 20 is cold for me. And speaking of the cold, that's another one of my a hypothesis. Hypothesis is an untested theory. Sorry, big words, bloody hell. It's an untested idea or untested theory. A theory is something that you can put out there and actually start testing it. A testable hypothesis is a theory. So it's just an idea. And my idea right now is, because this is a seasonal factor, because I'm thinking of that, why is flu kicking in seasonal? So I started doing my homework on seasonal viruses and variables. And one particular topic of interest that I believe, or I'm forming this opinion, is based on my own experience. I lived in New South Wales and in the snow and cold regions, and it destroyed me. Living in the tropics, that's really good for my health. So my theory is, in the cold during winter, it takes a lot more energy. We have to burn energy, okay, in our body to maintain our body temperature. And as a result of that, you're pushing all that, so you're putting energy into your body, and then you're expending, say, 20 to 30% of your energy that you're consuming to actually maintain homeostasis, your regular body temperature of 36 to 37 degrees Celsius. So because of that, once the temperature around you drops in the environment and it gets cold in winter, you're down to 4 degrees around you, well, your body has to work harder to produce heat in there and to maintain that body temperature. So it's my belief that that's taking away from the immune system. It's taking away resources, expending energy to maintain homeostasis, just a safe, normal body environment, and body temperature is the key for me. So living in the tropics, it might be 30 degrees or 37. Here your body wants to release some heat because it's warm around you. So those are different factors that, it's an opinion of mine. I wouldn't mind studying this one day. I'm doing psychology now, so maybe, at university, so maybe one day I get the chance to release some research studies on this myself. But that's just my personal opinion, that in the cold, our bodies require a lot more energy. And it's a simple explanation. It's like in my room here, I might have to burn the fire. And during summertime, I don't have to burn the fire because the room temperature itself, the ambient room temperature, is warm enough for me. So in wintertime, oh no, I'm cold and it's snowing or whatever. Not really, because I'm in the tropics. But just say I'm down south and New South Wales or southern Australia, and so in winter I have to burn that fire. I have to burn more wood to increase the temperature around this household. So that's what I'm saying about burning energy in the body. So we're eating carbohydrates, we're eating food and stuff like this, and it produces energy. We burn that food, the kilojoules, or in the US, calories, so we're burning that energy. That's measurement units of energy in food. So we're burning those food, the energy sources there to maintain our regular body, our healthy body, our normal state of being. So as I said, that costs more resources. Then you've got factors such as less sunlight. June 22nd's like winter solstice or whatever they call them, shortest day of the year or whatever, things like that. So tropics we get up to 12 to 14 hours or something like that, sunlight, in summer, and then during winter we go down to about, I think it's 7, maybe 8, 9, whatever, things like that. So it drops all the way down. So I believe that those factors are all contributing variables. And either way, we're going to find out. So I'm not an expert. There's not many out there, but we've got some really smart people in this group, and putting all our minds together has helped me form these opinions now, and I think we're a little bit ahead of the mainstream. The researchers are out there behind the scenes, and they're right ahead of us all publishing this stuff. We don't get to hear about it until it's completed, and they're rushing to complete this stuff, and most of it hasn't been peer reviewed. So the media is a fair bit behind, and the general public are a fair bit behind, but in our group here we seem to be quite ahead of the pack.